Welcome back to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, now run through the trial maps. We got a AAA rank on Lonely Isle last time, which is the first time I've ever done that, but now it's time for Strange Turn. This is the trial map you will unlock after beating the game on hard mode, and it really shows. This is a very interesting map. It's kind of the closest thing this game has to an arena, except not really. The map here is also kind of interesting. As you can see, it's based, I believe, on the cutscene where Grail fights Petrine at the end of Chapter 7. Every map that appears in the cutscene in this game is a fully playable map, and every unit who appears on the map during a cutscene is a fully programmed unit, although some of them aren't exactly the class you'd expect them to be, like Elincia as a female bishop. But anyway, this map. We're stuck in a very small room with a ton of enemies who are all level 20, all labelled as generals, and most of whom have ridiculous stats. So these sword masters here, they sometimes have cap speed. They are, for the most part, undoubleable except by Nasala and Resolve. I guess if you raise some of the Lagoo's speed high enough, you technically could have like above 34 on them, but you're never really going to get that high during the main game. You also have some warriors who have really high strength and some very strong weapons. As you can see here, we also have some snipers who are going to be very annoying for certain reasons. We also have some bishops who will just sit in the corners, but they do have Fortify and Physic, which is annoying. Now, one thing to know about these Fortify bishops in the corners is they will never initiate attacks with you unless you attack them. So, they're mainly here to prolong this map a bit, and yes, some of them have cap resistance as well. I'm pretty sure none of the enemies have skills, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. The Halberdiers are the weakest of the enemies here, but they have some decent stats sometimes. And we also only get to bring 6 characters, including Ike. Now, technically speaking, the best way to complete this chapter is to do it as an Ike solo, because he has 1 to 2 range, and he can pretty much wreck everything. But I'm not going to do it that way, because that's not as fun, in my opinion. I am going to be bringing Nasir here, because Wrath Resolve is fantastic, and against the warriors, he can get hit into resolve range pretty easily. No Elincia, obviously, and remember how I said that on this map you don't have much room dedicated to healers, so yeah, no mist. I want Jill. I definitely do not want Rayson, because Rayson's a complete liability here. You want 6 combat-capable characters, because then you'll be able to kill 6 enemies per turn, and that's pretty important. So Soren is going to be here. Nephany has seen a lot of action in the last few chapters, but I'm trying to wonder whether I should use her or Gatry. I haven't actually used Gatry yet. Stefan may not be a bad idea either, but his defense is kind of a little low for this one. I might want to actually bring Gatry here, even though he could be a liability because he doesn't double things that often, but he does hit pretty hard. So he's going to be there, he's going to have the spear, and as for Jill, we're going to have to redo her inventory, seeing as nothing saves between the trial maps, so no short spear. Actually, no, wait, she does need the short spear. She does need at least 1 lance because of the sword masters, but I'll get rid of that and I will take my Haute Claire. I doubt she'll need anything else. And Nasir's not really going to need the speed win because he's guaranteed to, and also he's guaranteed to have enough speed to double things with Resolve. This seems fine. Okay, 1 more possible deployment slot here. So I could bring Nephany. Could also bring Nasala, but I have used him for 2 trial maps in a row, so maybe not. He is pretty useful here, though. Even though there are a lot of snipers. Okay, I think that's what I'll go with for now. Let's reposition, so let's see. Most of the warriors are going to be coming out of here because there are going to be reinforcements. So I want Nasir to be down there. I actually want Ike to take this part of the map, I think, because of the although there are a lot of sword masters here, and Nasir with Wrath Resolve is one of the few people who can double them. So maybe Nasir will go over here for now. Firstly, I'll try and fight some of the warriors to get his HP down into resolve range, though. Guess Gatry and Nephany can head around here. Jill will take the other side. Ike and Soren will kind of hang around the center. I find that tends to work best. Okay, so now to explain about how to win this map. Although before that, I want to show my special guest character for this one. This time, our second trial map exclusive character is Jill's father, Shiharim. In the trial maps, Jill can finally fight by her father's side in a non-tragic situation, as Shaharam is our second trial map secret character, unlocked after clearing the game 5 times. Speaking of Jill, Shaharam is one of the few trial map characters to have a bond support with another character, in this case Jill, so if you're using her in your trial map file, Shaharam can provide 10% extra critical to her. Speaking of this bond support, I finally realised why I wasn't seeing it do something during chapter 20. While Shaharam's bond support with Jill still exists at that point, bond supports in this game only work between characters on the same side. Anyway, as for Shaharam himself, he's not that impressive. He's another boss who joins with his normal mode stats rather than his hard mode ones. And all his stats apart from defense and resistance are inferior to base level Har. This makes Shaharam not all that useful. I guess if you really wanted 3 Wyvern Lords you can use him, but between Marsha, Tanith, and Jill, you already have more than enough strong flyers for the trial map, so he's not really all that necessary. He does come with some really good equipment though. An extra tomahawk is nice, and an extra full guard is great. Like I said, you have no shortage of strong flyers for epilogue files, and so the ability to make 2 flyers resistant to their arrow weakness is really useful. That aside though, Shaharam is average but not amazing, and really only worth using for the heartwarming factor of reuniting him with Jill. This is where that extra tomahawk and full guard that I was talking about earlier come from. Anyway, on to how this map actually works. In order to get an A rank in Tactics, we need to take 8 turns or less. That includes turn 8 enemy phase. In order to get an A rank in Battle, we need to kill 40 enemies. On the map to start with, there are only 17. So we're going to need to wait out a lot of reinforcements. So normally there'll be 4 reinforcements spawning per turn, but starting on turn 5, there'll be 6 spawning per turn. 6. We have exactly 6 characters. That means we have a maximum of 6 kills per turn. Do you see the problem there? This means that if the map is not over by turn 5, it's impossible for the map to end during a player phase then. It has to end on an enemy phase, because there'll be at minimum 7 enemies on the map, including reinforcements at the start of each player phase, and you can only kill 6 per turn. And seeing as a lot of the reinforcements are snipers, who will not die on the enemy phase unless you have 1 to 2 range characters in their range, this can be annoying. Basically, we need to aim for this map to end during the enemy phase of turns 5, 6, 7, or 8. We need to get that timing across, so... Okay, let's do this. Time for Strange Turn, which definitely is a pretty strange map. So firstly, I want Nasir to get attacked by a lot of the warriors, so I'm going to have him go over here and use one of the Laguz stones. I've been saving these for the trial maps. And now there's a whole bunch of sword masters over here. I feel like the silver sword is probably the biggest threat. Yes, it can actually damage Gatry, so of course it's the biggest threat. This is Cap Defense Gatry with a... is this going to one-shot? Please one-shot. With a Night Ward. Almost said yes it did, but 1 HP. Dang it. As for Nephany, I think she'll use the Lightning Javelin for... Let's use the Spear for now. She's not going to be doubling a lot of things here, so only having 3 uses on this is not that big of a deal. And yeah, expect to be missing these Sword Masters quite a bit. That's where the skill bonus from Resolve comes in handy. Okay, so you're down. Next is Icon Soren. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and... Because I definitely want that sniper to stay alive for now. I'm not going to start killing the snipers until it comes time for me to end the map. Soren loves activating a jet and getting criticals in these trial maps, which is annoying because he didn't do that very much during the main storyline. And now Ike will not kill that thing, unfortunately. A few turns in and I'll start getting rid of the bishops. The bishops aren't that important to kill yet, because for some reason they don't really feel like healing all that much. But perhaps Jill can take out 1 bishop to start with. I like using the Brave Axe just to guarantee they don't hit me with Nosferatu and recover massive HP. These things look fully pink on the map, but here they They look kind of strange, actually. These sort of oddly red-tinted white robes. And yeah, that's that turnover. So let's see, the main thing that I want to make sure happens is not that. Yeah, this is where Provoke gets annoying, especially with all the 1 to 2 range enemies. My main strategy here will be to have Nisea take the brunt of the 1 range enemies and kill off the 2 range enemies on the player phase, at least later on. That's a bit of a hit to his transform meter, though. Yeah, I'll need to be paying attention to his transform gauge as well. I also need to be paying attention to these Venom Edge Swordmasters, because if Nisea gets poisoned, that's actually a bit of a problem. Because these warriors are pretty good at lowering his HP. Please tell me that a warrior will actually be able to attack him this turn. Well, good news is you're going to die, so that's fine. That would have been bad if I'd missed there, but I didn't, so that's good. This map is pretty much going to be Nisea's time to shine, hopefully. His second time shine after Ashna. What the heck are you doing, warrior? Nisea is in range of you. Well, at least this might put Nephany in Wrath, which would be useful. One of the rare occasions I was hoping both of your attacks would hit. Because that definitely would have put her in Wrath. That probably would have done nothing anyway. Yeah, this is where I prefer Radiant Dawn having visual representation of the transform gauge every time a Laguz attacks. Now, here I don't want you to dodge. Okay, good. Even the Silver Axe Warriors don't do very much to Nisea, but I still want him to be taking some damage. Just to get him into resolve range, because then things are going to start dying a lot. Well, not so much the 1 to 2 range enemies, or even the 2 range enemies, but more the, that may actually damage me a bit. That damaged me a lot more than I'm comfortable with, actually. But now it's time for the Vantage Wrath combo to hopefully work wonders. There we go. I think I do have elixirs. Because I really don't like the prospect of Nephany getting hit by a warrior at this low of a threshold of HP. I kind of want you to critical, actually. Well, at least you hit. Now, a little bit more damage, and Nisea will be in resolve range. And that's where I want him to be for this entire map. There will be warriors eventually spawning who have effectiveness weapons, so they may be a slight threat to Gatry. As you can see, even this guy's a slight threat to Gatry. And yeah, more reinforcements. So you guys over here are... Oh yeah, that Laguz Lance. Now, if I really wanted Nisea to get into... Oh, your transform gauge is at 10. That's a little bad, but oh well. If I really wanted Nisea to get into resolve range quickly, I could unequip his Beort Guard. I do that sometimes, but for now... Just need one of these warriors to hit him. Let's get rid of this Swordmaster for now. Once Nisea gets into resolve mode, these Swordmasters are going to be a complete joke because they'll all be provoked into attacking him and he'll just double them and they'll die. But other than that, they can be problematic sometimes. Also, these Swordmasters, yeah, Armor Slayer and Laguz Slayer. I may actually have to restart this map if Nisea doesn't get into resolve quickly enough. And why waste a perfectly good something southern? Actually, if this Swordmaster crits and I don't... Yeah, that easily could have ended in Nephany dying, so I'm glad it didn't. Let's take out the Brave Weapon and let's just use an Iron Sword because reasons. Still does like 50% of the Swordmaster's HP, which is pretty funny. Gatry never raised his sword rank, and yet he still does decently with Iron Swords. And like I said, Soren now needs to heal Nephany. Let's just make sure that I don't accidentally heal Gatry. And let's see, what is Little Lord Ike going to do? He's going to go over here and get rid of this guy. As I said, I like to keep Ike and Soren towards the center here to benefit from their support and have them flexibly adapt to any reinforcements that can spawn, because this map's very small. If you're in the center, you can get almost anywhere. And And if you're a flyer, you can also get almost anywhere. So let's go for... Yeah, I want you gone, because I don't like you attacking Naseer with ranged attacks and wasting his transform gauge. And I love when... I almost said cancel again when guard activates in situations like that. Okay, Naseer, please don't untransform during this turn. That would be bad. Now I'm just picturing Naseer with just arrows sticking out of his scales harmlessly. I kind of thought that would happen. I need one of the warriors to hit me. Because if Naseer doesn't get into resolve range early, I may have to restart. It's kind of necessary to my plans. Because it helps me kill the Swordmasters quickly. However, if he untransforms, he might be able to get into resolve range relatively easily. And if he's untransformed and in resolve, he usually dodges everything, so... hello there. Yeah, even with bad accuracy, attacking someone with a Brave Axe usually won't end well for you if you're on that low HP. Might need to heal Gatry soon. Okay, now given your HP, you're probably not going to die to this. No. That could be a problem. I probably should have... Actually, wait, no, that's fine. But yeah, here you might see the effects of Ike and Soren's critical negating bond support, because if I have Soren stand adjacent to Ike, he has no need to be worried about criticals, because nothing will be able to crit him. Because bond support. Radiant Dawn did not separate critical negating and critical boosting bond supports. In that game, bond supports always give a flat bonus of either 5% or 10% to both evasion and critical evasion. Which is sometimes called dodge, but I find that term really confusing because, you know, you can also just flat out dodge attacks. I think that's just barely not resolve. But he's still critting even without Wrath. Just notice that the way that Halberdier's, like, front armor is tied kind of looks like... Okay, good, you didn't untransform. That might have been bad if this guy had crit you. Please hit. Yes, because that's resolve, and that's exactly what I needed. But yeah, it almost looks like samurai armor, the way that it's sort of tied at the front. And so it begins. These snipers are incredibly annoying. I'm not worried about that happening because I can just Lagoon Stone you again, although that will mean that you don't get to attack an enemy this turn. Okay, I kind of have too many people over on this side, but Nephany is good for taking out snipers. As long as I leave one sniper alive to get provoked into Naseer, as I've probably said before, this map is not that bad to drag out. Not keeping track of kills here. Because, yeah, by turn 5, there were exactly 39 enemies on the field, which is really trollish for your ranking, but that's just how it works. And, yeah, there's a hammer. Can't quite get Gatry down there, though. I can actually fit Soren into Ike's bond support range. If I do this... I still love Ragnar's sword beams. And we'll be seeing much more in the way of sword beams in Radiant Dawn. So yeah, from here I can just blast things and not need to worry about criticals. But again, I need to be sure to leave at least one sniper alive. Now, as for Gatry... Well, only 11 damage with Nosferatu against Gatry, really? Although I did spam talismans on him before the final chapter, so that's probably why. Just to be absolutely sure you'll die, though. Why not? You know what? Yeah, that's absolutely guaranteed to make you die. I can save the Brave Lance for later. Or I could Luna. Oh, didn't positively tempt fate there. Speaking of bishops, it has in fact been pointed out to me that Chapter 22 on Lunatic, the priests are all bishops. So, that is... Well, you got Luna, but not when I needed it. So yes, they are all bishops, and preventing them from killing themselves is quite hard, considering they can all counterattack you there. Okay, I think I need Jill to bash another bishop. Let's just bash this one. And when Nasir's in resolve mode, most of the warriors don't have much of a chance of hitting him. And seeing as they're one of the few things on this map that can actually hurt him, that's also great. Because everything else is just like, nope, Nasir doesn't care. Thick scales can't feel a thing, as I like to say. Okay, I only have one Laguz Stone left, though. If things get really bad, I may end up having to use the Demi-Band. Which, with Resolve active, isn't that bad. So now you finally get to see the epicness of this combo against people who aren't Ashnod, although this is overkill because you would have died regardless. Kinda wish you could see damage numbers in this game, because that was probably really huge. You see, that's why Provoke is weird sometimes. It just doesn't work on certain occasions. But Ashnod still fell for it, despite the fact that he ended up attacking the person who was the most threat to him. Yeah, I don't see what, like, happens with the AIs. See, look at that! It's like both those warriors totally ignored Provoke. Maybe flavor-wise, warriors are too stupid to fall for Provoke? He's like, hey look, I'm taunting you, and they're like, ooh, what you saying? Weird lizard thing not make sense. Me attack other weird lizard thing ridded by redhead person. Anyway, that was my dumb warrior impression. So yeah, here is where Resolve... Let me just quickly check. Yep, okay, I still have 15 transform gauge. Here is where Resolve really comes in handy, because I can now double these Swordmasters, and also they just instantly die, so I don't even need to double them. But sometimes they roll just enough HP to not die to one hit, so doubling them is really useful. And the Swordmasters do seem to be particularly attracted to Provoke, which is kind of weird. Now, this chapter's actually going a lot better than it usually does for me by this point. And what the heck, let's just get rid of this bishop. Because as I said at the start of this chapter, these bishops will never directly go after you, so you have to waste one of your own character's movements to kill them on the player phase. Which is why I like to get them out of the way early, before the map starts getting to the point where it's impossible to end it during a player phase. But yeah, I'm going to leave that sniper, and I'm going to have these snipers... Yeah, let's just use Ike on this one. It will get a little bit more difficult to handle the reinforcements soon. If you get past turn 8, eventually Paladins start spawning as reinforcements, but I've never seen them because I've never had this map go on for that long. And let's just keep using Nephany here. Would have appreciated that against one of the Swordmasters earlier, because Nephany stood a pretty good chance of dying there if that Swordmaster... Well, I mean, if that Swordmaster was critical, Nephany definitely would have died, but... Anyway. Oh, I should have used the Speed Bing on you. You might have been able to double one of the warriors with that, actually. But... yeah, that should be fine. Just to be safe, I'm going to leave Soren here. Doesn't even have any vulnerables, though. But you went for Nasir anyway. I guess now I can talk about a tangent I wanted to go on for this chapter, because I'd be using Nasir a lot, and Nasir, dragon, so tangentially related to that. Yeah, it is weird how enemies don't fall for Provoke sometimes. That's probably not a kill. Yeah, let's have you go over here instead. But yes, my tangent, let me just get back to that, is that I recently saw an episode of a certain cartoon that I've been hearing good things about for a while. One thing that I was not expecting is a character who is essentially the single most powerful dragon in the entire setting and is basically the size of a mountain, has an Australian accent. And I don't know why, but I find that the most awesome thing to ever exist. There needs to be more Australian accented dragons in fiction. I'm surprised that hasn't been done much before. But that was just... I'm also surprised how few people noted that that character has an Australian accent as well. It's definitely a more subtle accent, but if you're Australian, you can kind of tell. It's funny, like, I like to say that actual Australians have kind of like an accent dar when it comes to Australian accents, because for example, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with the Orions who have Australian accents, I can tell, like, instantly which Orions have genuine accents and which have fake accents. Like, Vandam's is absolutely 100% fake, but a few of them did sound genuine. I think the Orion Queen's accent is genuine as well. But, like, also, speaking of that, Final Fantasy XIII, Fang, completely fake, but Vanille's accent is genuine, which is the opposite of what a lot of non-Australians think, but yeah, it is definitely true. Vanille sounds much more like you'd hear a real Australian sounding like than Fang. Even though Fang is the more... But yeah, I think the reason why, this accent was particularly noticeable, I guess, to me, is that I looked up the voice actor, and he is, like, actually Australian. So I feel like maybe he just used his natural accent for this part, and no one really told him to do a different accent. So just the Australian accent came out like that, but... Anyway, I just find it kind of interesting whenever you hear... Because usually when I hear Australian accents done in fiction, they're quite bad, but to hear... a character who is not only supremely awesome, but also has a genuine Australian accent actually made me really happy. And because of that, I'm now picturing Deginsia with an Australian accent, and part of me just wants to make that, like, actually do that in Radiant Dawn at one point, and I would say that would make a certain scene hard to take seriously, and then I just realized, what am I talking about? Deginsia in Radiant Dawn is already impossible to take seriously, so it's not like it would really change anything. I should have kept an eye on your transform gauge, I just realized. But yeah, if I ever... It's weird, you're just not falling for Provoke today. I've got to pay attention here, because this is where I need to start thinking about the turns. So at this point, this map needs to end on an enemy phase from here until turn 8. So let's get busy killing things. And that's where these Sword Masters become a problem. So I need to get Gatry out of... Okay, what's your transform? Like 5. Could be a slight problem. I need to get Gatry out of here, because if any of those Sword Masters can attack Gatry, they probably will, and that will mean they don't die to Naseer. And I really need the Sword Master to die on the enemy phase to Naseer. So now's where I probably should stop going on tangents and actually start concentrating. Because there's a very specific reason why I brought Wrath Resolve Naseer to this map, and that's because these Sword Masters are undoubleable apart from that, and still have to use the Speeder on Gatry because I'm stupid. Apart from that and Nasala, or certain other Lagoos. Yeah, so here's the point where I want to start killing these snipers. And here is also the point where I need to start... thinking about how I do this. Okay, so... if these snipers are out of Provoke range, then Ike can kill them on the enemy phase, but if not, that leads to bad things happening, and that's not... No, wait, that's exactly enough, isn't it? That's exactly enough damage. Guess let's go for that. So yeah, there is a maximum of 6 kills you can make per turn. And that's why all of the characters you bring to this map need to be very powerful. But seeing as you need to have beaten the game on hard, you should probably have a pretty strong team if you've unlocked this map. Okay, the warrior there instantly dies to Ike, so I guess I can have Ike kill this sniper. forget if this turn is enough for a perfect battle rank, or if you have to wait until turn 7 or 8. Because if I get rid of all the snipers this turn, and then everything else attacks Naseer, I should be set. Oh yeah, also, all of the warriors who spawn on some of these turns, they all have killer weapons. Yeah, so you both have killer weapons, and yeah, you have killer weapons. And they're going to be even more killer weapons coming soon. Sounds like some kind of a weird advertisement. More killer weapons coming soon. Actually, that sounds like a Heroes advert. Even though killer weapons are... I mean, I don't know. Again, I really don't keep up with the Heroes meta, but killer weapons were probably bad because they had to introduce slaying weapons, an even better version later. Okay, that warrior. Let's see. I don't want Gatry to get in range of the other warrior, because then the other warrior won't die. Yeah, this is where Gatry becomes a little bit of a liability, especially since he can't double those warriors. He just can't get there. It's a question of whether I... It doesn't seem like there's anywhere Gatry can go that isn't in range of either that or the other warrior. This may be not a bad option here. Actually, that's a fantastic option. Nice one. Okay, depending on how things go, this could end now, but I thought you'd do that. Okay, Luna, please let this be enough to kill, although warriors aren't known for their defense, so this probably won't add enough damage. Oh, not quite. And yeah, that's why I wanted Gatry to get out of range of the Swordmaster, because now this Swordmaster will die. It will definitely die. I just thought of a good critical quote there, but next time. And I need to have you transform again. Okay, so turn 7. I need to end this on an enemy phase, but in fact, this is the perfect enemy phase to end it on because there are no snipers. However, these warriors are very difficult to one round without Naseer, so time for Operation Naseer fights all of these warriors, hopefully. You know, I could really do with a rescue stuff. I just thought of something. It's not a bad idea, actually. Although, you only have one means of one rounding at your disposal here. Just gonna break after this. Not so much break, but more, only have one use left, so I can't one round anything with it anymore. Unless I get a lucky critical. Although... Gatry goes here. Spears you. I can Really? Gatry just loves critting with that spear, doesn't he? Yeah, I can head... Just for safety, let's do this. And I believe that is... Yep, that's exactly enough damage. So I got pretty lucky on this warrior's stat rolls. Soren, also glad that I was in support range, because that +1 attack power from the dark support is actually really helping here. Soren will... Oh, that's close. That's very close. Again, thank you, support. That +1 attack really comes in handy sometimes. Also handy that it benefits both physical and magical attacks. That's why I list it in the character bios as +1 attack, not +1 strength or magic. And if Jill whacks you, then both Sword Masters will go for Nasir and they will both die, and then this map will be over, and I should have enough kills. Oh, crap. Unless Jill can't kill this guy. However, even if I don't kill him, he has an elixir. He has an elixir. If he did not have an elixir, this wouldn't be as much of a conundrum. Because if I attack you and I don't get adept or critical, then you're going to use your elixir and this will not end during the turn 7 enemy phase and I'll have to go another turn. If I don't attack you and you go for Gate Trees, which you probably will, this also likely won't end during the enemy phase. And I can't Brave Axe you to death because I don't have enough uses on it. Oh, I shouldn't have overused my Brave Axe earlier, or I should have brought a Hammer and Staff. I guess either way, I feel like this guy's going to end up going for Gate Tree if he's on full health, so come on, Critical or Adept, I need either of you. There we go, I've won this. So, I feel kind of bad that I kind of won this due to luck, due to both Gate Tree's critical and Jill critting there. But at least I got to show off the awesomeness that is, once again, Wrath Resolve Nasir. Now, hopefully I'll critical and get to say what I was wanting to. No crit. Here you go. Be dead! That was my attempt at being an Australian accented dragon. You may think yourself safe, but my speed with resolve is greater than yours. Sad, I know. Be sad! And dead, that too. Doing a broad Australian accent is fun sometimes. And that is map over. That should hopefully be a AAA rank. Yes, it was. Good. So that map generally doesn't go on for very long, but it has that weird gimmick of the fact that if it does go over 5 turns, you have to end it on an enemy phase, and that can be tricky when there are snipers still on the field. In hindsight, bringing Gate Tree might not have been a good idea because he doesn't one-round kill enemies often, and I really should have... Yeah, I really should have used the speeding on him earlier. But still, at least I got to show him off a bit, because I haven't really used him in the other trial maps. That's a pretty fun trial map, I find, when it's done right. So that's the last of the 3 trial maps that you have access to in this game naturally. Next time, we'll be starting the 3 trial maps that are exclusive to GBA Link Up, which a lot of people on this channel may not have seen before outside of videos because not many people had GameCube to GBA link cables back in the day, and also this game's very hard to find, and if you do find it nowadays, you probably won't be able to do the GBA link up. So we'll be going on to Desperation next, which is in my opinion the easiest trial map, especially to get a AAA rank on. So look forward to that next time.